مشاهدينا أهلا ومرحبا بكم في هذا اللقاء الخاص الذي تقترحه عليكم المؤسسة العمومية للتلفزيون الجزائري. ضيف اليوم مشاهدينا كبير الباحثين في وحدة مركز الذكاء الاصطناعي وكبير الباحثين كذلك في مركز بحوث العلوم الرقمية. ضيف اليوم هو البروفيسور مروان دباح. أهلا بك سيدي.
أهلا
شكرا لقبول دعوتنا. إذن البداية معكم بروفيسور بآخر التتويج لكم جائزة الورقة البحثية المتميزة من جمعية الاتصالات التابع لمعهد مهندسي الكهرباء والإلكترونيات، كذلك جائزة أفضل ورقة بحثية من قبل المؤتمر الدولي للاتصالات. بداية تهانينا الحارة على هاتين التتويجين، ونتحدث عن ما ركزت كل من الجائزتين أستاذ.
شكرا والفرصة اللي أعطيتيها لي باش نتكلم اليوم. I'm very happy to be here. It's a great opportunity for me to come to this conference related to AI. I've been working many years, as you've been saying, in the intersection of the telecommunication field, also AI. اليوم جيت أنا نخدم today في أبو ظبي when عندي center on AI. I have roughly around 70 people working on advanced technologies related to the advancements of AI. And basically one of the reasons I came today is also to interact closely with the different, I would say, students here to also bring them the new features that are happening in AI.
البداية بروفيسور بآخر تتويج لكم جائزة الورقة البحثية المتميزة من جمعية الاتصالات التابعة لمعهد مهندسي الكهرباء والإلكترونيات، كذلك نتحدث عن جائزة أفضل ورقة بحثية من المؤتمر الدولي للاتصالات. بداية تهانينا الحارة لهاتين التتويجين. نتحدث عن ما ركزت كل من الجائزتين أستاذ.
نعم. في الخدمة تاعي I received many prizes. I'm very proud for the last two prizes that I have received. So I've been working mostly on the development of a technology called 5G. And 5G is at the heart of all the deployments that we're doing. في الجزائر تاني 5G بداو يخدموا عليها. وهذا ال 5G هذا I developed a technology called massive MIMO. And one of this technology enables better data rates in terms of transmissions. And basically one of the reasons that the IEEE, which is a big organization, has given this to me is because, of course, it's making a big breakthrough with respect to telecommunication. The second prize I received also was also to congratulate me for the work I've been doing in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is another big domain in which I've been working. IEEE have also congratulated me for one of the big things that I've been doing on what we call AI on device. So today, artificial intelligence is mostly related to things which are done on the cloud. And now basically I've been bringing intelligence towards the devices. And one of the things I've been building recently is of course the capability to bring AI on this device. And this is the second prize I have received.
نعم، وأكيد نحن جد فخورين بهذا التتويج بصفتنا جزائريين. نتحدث اليوم كثيرا عن الذكاء الاصطناعي كمحرك جديد للاقتصاد العالمي أستاذ.
So artificial intelligence is changing the whole landscape today. It has a big, I would say, component in terms of how it's driving الاقتصاد, the economy. Before, basically, computer science and informatics was playing a big role. Today, one of the big things about AI is, of course, it's providing a lot of new use cases that we're seeing related to what we call big data. Data is, of course, the oil. But how you refine the oil, kahraba, how you make it also something useful is very important. It's helping, of course, many industries. In Algeria, it's mostly the oil industry, the health industry, but also the education industry, because it's bringing a lot of value in terms of understanding how to make things better and how also to increase the value of the general chain. Today, basically, Algeria is investing a lot on AI. We have a school that we all know, the School of Artificial Intelligence. The director is putting a lot of efforts today to bring a lot of students to ramp up.
أكيد ربما ستكون دافع قوي للترويج وتطوير هذا المجال، مجال الذكاء الاصطناعي في الجزائر أستاذ.
Yes. I think في العالم كله everybody is talking about AI. في العالم كله also a lot of people are investing. But I think here there's much more opportunities than the rest of the world because we're starting AI from a clean slate. What I mean a clean slate sheet is that we are learning from the mistakes other people have been doing. So we have a big chance to build AI in the right way, and I think this is where it's coming. The second thing also that is important here in Algeria is the fact that within the AI realm, a lot of the good people who are working in AI are good in mathematics. And Riyadiyat is something where people are very good here in Algeria. They're very talented.
هو ربما مجال تخصصكم أستاذ. نعود لنتحدث ربما عن مجال تخصصكم ونتحدث عن علاقة الذكاء الاصطناعي بكل هذه التقنيات الحديثة أستاذ.
العلاقة هي basically علاقة which is driven by data, meaning that in every industries that you were talking about, they are creating a lot of data. The data, of course, has a component that we need to understand and that we need to refine. In Algeria, what's at the moment missing with respect to the talents is roughly how we can process the data, meaning the computing power. And every industry now is trying to build that. There is a strategy to build that, which I think is quite good. But I think we're still missing the computing capability for me driving basically AI to work, for example, in oil. In oil, for example, today we're using AI to find new ways of oil plants where they could be. In education, we could use AI to predict the grades of students, for example. And this will enhance basically knowing how many students we put in each field. Yes.
فيما يخص مجال الاتصالات وربما ربطها بالجيل الرابع والخامس كذلك أستاذ؟
نعم. So this is my specialty. I've been working many years on 2G, which is basically providing mobile for voice. 3G is mostly mobile for data, عندنا smartphone. 4G that everybody knows here today is mostly for mobile for internet, bringing the capability to have ADSL experience over mobility. 5G that we deploy today is mostly basically related to what we call the Internet of Things. And Internet of Things is the first component of AI because that's where you bring the data. Today I am working intensively within my center on something called 6G. So 6G is still a bit far away, Sita generation, but their AI is at the heart of building because we're connecting intelligence and not anymore just things.
نعم. نعود إلى التتويجات كذلك. في 2022 صنفتم بروفيسور ضمن لائحة الباحثين الأكثر تأثيرا في مجال الذكاء الاصطناعي وإنترنت الأشياء. نتحدث ربما عن هذا التتويج إن صح التعبير.
Of course, I'm happy, I'm proud of that in the sense that I've been named one of the most cited researcher today in the field of Internet of Things. This is mostly due to my collaborators with whom I work intensively, and I've been basically interacting also with many people in Algeria to be able to write those papers. Those papers are just a component. The fact that there are lots heavily cited is just one part. I think what matters is mostly the fact that people are using those papers to build new stuff. And I think one thing that I want to do more as of today is, of course, to collaborate more with universities in Algeria to bring the ranking and citations into a higher level, to have also the next generation of highly cited researchers, as you've been mentioning.
نعم. في نفس السياق أستاذ نتحدث ربما عن البرامج أو المقررات الدراسية التي يجب أن تكون عليه الجامعة الجزائرية وحتى المدرسة الابتدائية. لما لا نتحدث اليوم عن استحداث مدرسة وطنية عليا للذكاء الاصطناعي، مدرسة أخرى للرياضيات، إضافة إلى المدرسة العليا للإعلام الآلي. كيف يجب أن تكون عليه المقررات الدراسية أستاذ؟
هذا سؤال جيد in the sense that in every part of the world people have understood the importance of AI, and so they are building what we call data science tracks. So data science, he has around the data. The data science track is important because basically this is where students learn how to do machine learning. I think in Algeria what is very nice is that the people have some very important background in mathematics. This is why these two schools you were mentioning have been focusing, one on mathematics, the others on AI, because they're linked together. I think we need to form more people around the notion of data science, understanding basically how to build those pipelines, because this is very important strategically for the nation. I think we're not investing enough in the different universities in having what we call data science tracks, which is what's being done in the rest of the world. The second thing also, which is important to do في الجامعة, is to have more links with industry, because the data in general is not students which create it. It's mostly basically the surrounding and the companies that with whom you need interaction. So that's the second thing to build strongly with that. The third thing to build also strongly is that to play with data, you need a computer. And you need a computer, you need a notion which is computing, how to make calculus. And this is where also we need more and more a building of infrastructure at the national level, which brings basically the capability to run either on the cloud or on what we call premises, the capability of running these kind of algorithms.
نعم، ولتطوير ربما كل هذه المقررات والبرامج الدراسية الخاصة بالتقنيات أحدث التقنيات يعني الذكاء الاصطناعي والتكنولوجيا، لابد بالموازاة يعني الاستثمار في المورد البشري، والجزائر تزخر بمؤهلات بشرية كبيرة أستاذ.
This is also another component. The positioning of Algeria is very important in this, and I think what we need to understand in the future is providing a vision of where Algeria wants to position itself in the world of AI. So we have a very big diaspora who has come here today. I think we need to rely on them and see how they can bring more value, not necessarily by basically working here, but basically also by providing their network to students so that they can position. The second is the vision of where today Algeria should position itself as a leader in AI. So you cannot be everywhere. You need to rank and diminish the domains on which you want to be.
نعم بروفيسور، أكثر من 30 براءة اختراع، نتحدث ربما ما هي العوامل المحفزة في هذا الإنجاز العلمي، نتحدث ربما عن البيئة الملائمة وكيف يجب أن تكون عليه البيئة الملائمة لتحفيز هذا النوع من الابتكار هنا في الجزائر عند شباب الطلبة الجامعيين.
The second step after innovation is startup, but we need to focus on innovation. Innovation is a mindset. It's not like this. So you can always talk about innovation, but if people do not have basically the motivation and the mindset, it doesn't work. So what needs to be built here is what we call an entrepreneur mindset, meaning we need to encourage the students whenever they're very young to have the mindset to be able to sell the kind of work they do. Because when you do research, what counts is not just doing it for the research sake, but making it known. It's like writing a book. If you write a book but nobody reads it, it's not useful. So what's important is that when you're doing something, you need to make it known. And I think what's missing today is to build the right kind of entrepreneurship and mindset, and also providing the motivation. I'll give you an example. One of the big reasons that today our researchers, whenever they go abroad, have successful careers is mostly not because they're better when they go than here. They're already good because they've been formed by the school in Algeria, but mostly because they get the right environment, the motivation. So the motivation has changed, and because the motivation has changed, they can excel in what they do. So I think what we need to bring here is the motivation that people feel there and bring it here so that they can, of course, make those kind of innovation. Startup is the second step. Once you innovate, of course, it's just a translation of how you make a concrete innovation into a product.
حديثكم عن المؤسسات الناشئة أستاذ، يعني الاستثمارات العالمية تسير اليوم نحو هذه الشركات الناشئة، نسبة كبيرة منها تستخدم الذكاء الاصطناعي أستاذ.
Yeah, so an importance I told about is when you create a policy to increase the entrepreneurship, you need an ecosystem around. And the ecosystem around, of course, is led by companies who have the skills that you bring here. So I think we need to attract more and more of a strong ecosystem for which you need those interactions. One of this ecosystem is, of course, big companies, which are basically at the heart of what you do. If you look at a lot of innovation, I would say, clusters, they are linked not because you have a strong university, but also a lot of big companies around, which are bringing a lot of problems to the researchers.
نبقى دائما أستاذ في مشروع أو مؤسسات الناشئة. مؤخرا قامت الدولة الجزائرية بتطبيق أو استحداث ما يسمى مشروع تخرج مؤسسة الناشئة وبراءة اختراع عبر جامعات الوطن. أستاذ، هل يمكن اعتبار هذه الاستحداث قفزة نوعية في نظام التكوين الجزائري أستاذ؟
Yeah, I think this new law that is being pushed by the government to relate the projects of the students to basically the possibility to create a startup is I think quite interesting. I haven't seen it, to be honest, elsewhere, so I think this is a very good, I would say, kind of innovation that the government is putting. I think it's very interesting because we are in a society where people need to have some results, you know, because we can always invest, but you need what we call some quick wins. And I think pushing more students to see the application of what they're doing is a good step. I don't think all the different projects of students should go to a startup, because the value of a university is also to create basically minds which can adapt to any kind of situation. But I think pushing more and more students to look at their project as a first step to entrepreneurship is very important. But this has to be done also with helping the students to also have a place where to build a startup. Yesterday we had a discussion with the minister, and I think also one of the things they're pushing is also the ability to host, once the project is done, during 1 year, free of any kind of payment, the possibility that startup to stay at university. And I think this is a very good step that the government is doing.
أكيد ستكون دفعة قوية للتكوين الجزائري. وسنتحدث ربما قبل أن نختم هذا اللقاء عن ما تعملون اليوم عليه، يعني في تطوير التقنيات الحديثة في الجيل الرابع والخامس. نتحدث ربما عن تطبيقها في الجزائر وكيف يمكن أن نستفيد أستاذ ربما من خبرتكم لتطوير هذه التقنيات في الجزائر أستاذ.
So that's a good question. We also discussed yesterday the possibility of having more and more of our researchers to come here and collaborate intensively within the topics of 4G, 5G, AI with the different universities. So collaboration is not just about staying here a couple of weeks, but also bringing in more students in terms of co-sponsorship of the PhDs, master, and other things like that. Today, all the different countries are investing heavily in the application of AI in the different sectors. Telecommunication is being one of the big things, because as I told you, telecom is of course about connecting different things. But today we're connecting intelligence, and it's revolutionizing the way the structure of the infrastructure is being built.
شكرا. في الأخير أستاذ، رسالة لكل الشباب الجزائري وكل الجزائريين بهذه المناسبة أستاذ.
So one of my advices for the students and the generation is to be more bold in how they approach basically the problems. What I mean by that, I'll give you just an example. Many times as a professor, and many of my colleagues here also have the same situation, people write you and ask you, I would like a job, or I would like you to help me. This is not the way to go. When you approach somebody, you have to tell him, I have this project, I have this idea, I'm bringing something, can you help me to bring up this component? And this is where I think people have to have this mindset. A mindset of an entrepreneur is you want to know, you know where you want to go, but then you see some steps where it's going to be hard for you, and you see that Professor Debah is the right person to help you there. And this is where it's benefit. And there I can help a lot, because the person knows where it wants to go. Okay? And I think people have to have this mindset.
شكرا لك على كل هذه التوضيحات وكل المعلومات القيمة. سعدت جدا بهذا الحوار الشيق بروفيسور مروان بالدباح. نتمنى لك كل التوفيق في مشوارك والمزيد من النجاحات والإنجازات بحول الله. أما أنتم مشاهدينا، نصل إلى نهاية هذا اللقاء. نتمنى أن نكون قد أفدناكم ولو بالقليل. إلى اللقاء.
شكرا.